entertain the good folks, Austin.
This is when I'm supposed to give all of my divisive opinions
Yes.
on
Everything.
just
Everything.
in the spirit of the holidays, I would like to tell you.
Yes.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yes. We got a mandolin here. We got a guitar.
I think it's cool that you have the Breedlove mandolin, and I just happen to bring
Your breed love.
the Breedlove today. This one's just like the one I had in college too. It's the same year as the one I had in college, but it has the same preamp in it, but it's the two different wood combos. This one's
It's a pretty guitar and it sounds really nice too.
this one, yeah, spruce top. The one in college was a cedar top. It had every sound man I ever had didn't like running sound with that cedar top guitar. They acted like it threw them off or something. Even at writers' nights and stuff, like when I first moved to town, I'd be at the Commodore or Brown's Diner or anyway, it was apparently it was difficult to EQ a cedar.
Oh, we got some people coming in. We got R. Ruiz. We got City Blades. Hey, from Kansas. Thoughts on the TV Jones tele pickups?
Ooh.
I haven't heard the regular TV Jones Telecaster pickups. I've heard the Filtertrons in Telecasters, and I thought they were really cool, especially like the neck position. I think it's a really cool, underrated guitar. P-Man says, this is awesome. Oh, Sean Tubbs says, what y'all two doing? Golly, now we're going to have to play like fancy licks.
My buddy Josh just bought a guitar from Sean, I believe.
From Tubbs?
Yeah, one of a super strat variety, black with I have to look it on my phone to see what the name of the brand. He just got it from him like a day or two ago. So you did good. He did good. He's so happy.
Sean's a fantastic person, a model American.
And the Promise Keepers albums from years ago still are in rotation for me. No lie.
Oh, Sean says he didn't buy it from him.
Oh, he didn't?
Uh-oh.
Oh, he told me. He took a picture with it.
Yeah. Victor Beebe says, aloha. Oh, I hope he's from Hawaii. You know, I was watching a little Elvis Aloha from Hawaii the other day. It was just a guitar. I was checking out for Iconic.
That's it. The Iconic.
Let's see, maybe we'll see this a little better. Carl Johnson says, West Tennessee checking in. All right.
Oh, he wants to hear the Zach intro. Can you play it on the wire?
Oh, yeah.
I'll try.
B flat.
I can't remember
B
the
flat.
changes.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I didn't know there was a B section to that
I'm
song.
sorry.
Have I not tuned in a while, or am I a bad fan, or what?
No, there's the B section. I've never played the B section live.
Yes.
So, wow, yeah. Brent said you wanted to hear the intro, so we did that. Hello from soggy Kimberly, Alabama. I love it. Where's Kimberly, Alabama?
Mm-hmm. Never been.
It's
Or if I have, I would
all right.
asleep.
P-Man, I know he's not. Wondering your feelings on Ronnie Wood. I mean, Ronnie's a great player. I especially like Ronnie Wood's stuff in the 70s with the Faces. I think that was some of his best stuff, kind of pre-Stones. Let's see. Carl Huffman says, Mr. Zach, hello, thank you for all you do. It has a dead spot between the 12th and 17th fret. Do you have any magical remedies? Wow, the 12th and,
That's a pretty big...
Yeah, the 12th and 17th frets being kind of dead. Usually that would mean something with like high frets in
Like
there.
fretting out dead,
Yeah.
or like just...
Now, tell us what you mean by by Dead area.
That's bugging.
Sean Tubb says, I still can't play that intro. That is the biggest crock of you know what.
If he can play Stand Up for Jesus, he can play that one.
Yeah, Sean Tubbs is one of, I would have to say, if he's not one of the finest players I've ever worked with, he's number 2. So, And Sean Tubbs says don't play between the 12th and 17th fret, which is something that Sean would never do because Sean lives everywhere on the neck. If you look at a guitar Sean has played, it has like the frets are equally worn the entire fretboard because he burns the whole thing down. Kimberly is just north of Birmingham. So you're not that horribly far away. So, all right. Well, we have a good amount of people, and everyone's kind of having fun. And we did the Ask Zach theme, so maybe we should play. A Christmas tune.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I just thought it'd be fun to have a live stream and have my buddy Austin here.
Yeah.
And Austin and I have known each other since he was 10 and I was 20, and that was a long time ago. And we both grew up in Kingsville, Texas.
That was a long time ago.
Kingsville, Texas is a long way from here, and so old friends are precious. And I just I want to encourage you, if you have old friends, treasure them, because you're fortunate to have even just a handful of people that have known you for a long period of time and can still stand you. And Austin can still stand me somewhat still.
Dan Seal's song, "If I had only one friend left, I'd want it to be you."
I'd want it to be you. So we've so we're gonna play a song or two, answer some more questions, just have fun. I got out this is my kids' Christmas tree that I stole from them, and it has a snowman up top. They decorated it, so I think they did a good job on it. And I couldn't find my Santa hat anywhere, so I figured we had to have something Christmas and to get everyone in the old spirit. Let's see. Hey Zach, what should I look for in a Tele neck pickup to get close to Ed Bickard's palette? I know. Yeah, you want if you're gonna put a humbucker in the neck position on a Tele, you want to look for one that's as bright as possible, which usually means lower output. So if you can find one in the upper 6K or 7K, I would like a Antiquity neck pickup is a good place to start. Then of course you can look down custom winders and stuff like that. Like you could go to Lawler or low wind Imperial or something like that. But the main thing is you're going to want to be able to match with the bridge pickup that you have. So if you have a neck humbucker that's 8K and high output, and you have a 6K bridge pickup, well, it's going to get completely overshadowed. So the main thing is you're going to want to get some type of balance there. So, all right, David Blackman, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everyone. Happy Holidays to you, Dave. All right, so we're going to play?
Let's play one.
And
we'll see how we feel after that.
And we're in the key of C, right?
The key of C is just, it's a blues riff in C, and watch me for the changes.
Watch you for the changes. All right.
3. Christmas time is near. Time for toys and time for cheer. We've been good, but we can't last. Hurry Christmas, hurry fast. Want the plane that looms the loop. Me, I want my hula hoop. We can hardly stand the wait. Please, Christmas, don't be late. Christmas, Christmas time is near. Time for joys and time for cheer. We've been good while we can last. Hurry Christmas, hurry fast. On the plane that loops the loop, I still want my hula hoop. We can hardly stand away. Please, Christmas, don't be late. We can hardly stand away. Please, Christmas, don't be late. Yeah,
All right.
I just love that ragtime feel.
David Estes, hey Zach from Soddy Daisy, Tennessee. Look forward to your videos each week. Well, thank you, David. All right. Well, should we play another one? Should we?
Play another one, I guess, unless there's some questions. I need to remember what I did with that capo.
You'll find your capo.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna put
Oh,
this.
yeah, it's right here.
I'm gonna put this Waterloo down. Let's see what we have now. We're bringing out the old mandolin. Merry Christmas, Zach. Thanks for the great videos. Love it, guys. Howdy from Fort Worth. Well, hello, Scott. Is that one of your Baxendale conversions? No. This is a Waterloo. So I mean, it has ladder bracing on it. It's not a. I do have a Baxendale conversion, but it's a Mandocello. So, and I should have worked that into something today, but I didn't. So we're gonna play. We're gonna play something.
So in high school, this guy and my dad put together a backing track for me on cassette, right? Because we had a Christmas program at the Catholic Church, actually.
At the Catholic Church.
We didn't want to bring three guitars into the church for the high school candlelight type service. So Dad and Zach put together a recording of this for me on cassette, which I'm sure is Grammy worthy. It's gotta be.
Yeah, it's changing a lot.
But anyway, we'll take up the speed just a little bit. The other way we used to play was a lot slower, and it just
Yeah.
like as a singer, you're just like, man, I'm running out. Just somebody pump the organ.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah.
Fat belly. Nice
I
job.
know.
Yeah, fat belly.
Last time I was here with you, I brought you something. And so this time, I brought you something. I brought you a vinyl last time. I brought you a vinyl this time. Because you have your Buck Owens Buck Up Buckaroo over there on the wall.
Dang it, man.
Man, I tell you.
Well, thank you very much.
Of course.
It's Buck Owens live at the Nugget Casino.
Yeah.
Dang it, man.
I know.
At John Escuagas or something.
Yeah, and then also this looks like a bad drug deal, but it's really not. I'm just supplying him with some tubes for your
Yes.
troubles.
So we're
6D6s for
This
your
is
troubles.
yeah, deals. So
Yeah, deals being
Yes.
back alley deals, but on YouTube Live.
we're doing
We're doing a deal.
Thank you.
Of course.
Yes, you're the checks in the mail.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
So let's see. Let's see these comments, questions, insults. Let's see. Love it, guys. Howdy from Fort Worth. That's from Scott Reynolds. Is that one? Let's see. Jimmy Joe Fine says cool. Ladder bracing is way underrated. I agree. That Breedlove Mando sounds nice. Makes me want to practice. Yeah, that's it. This is a nice. This is from the late '90s. This is a K5. This is a model that they only made for a short period of time in the '90s, and then they separated it out into a bunch of different models called a Cascade and all sorts of other things. But it was kind of their version of a F5, and I just really liked it because it has a wider fretboard than a regular mandolin. It also has a radiused fretboard. Most vintage mandolins have a completely flat fretboard, and I find them just really hard to play. I'm not a little guy, and so I love playing mandolin.
Oh, I know.
What are we doing?
Play that. Maybe we should play that. Just kind of the feel and the riff of that Ricky Skaggs tune.
Oh yeah.
That sounds great. I forgot you can really play the dang mandolin.
Every once in a while, but that's I like to do it like similar kind of vibe. Well, that's all right, mama. That's all right with you.
Oh man.
That's all right, mama. Just any way you do. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right now, mama. Any way that you do.
Yeah.
Anywho, yeah. That wasn't a Christmas song, so we'll try to do that. I guess if we were gonna do Elvis Christmas, it'd have to be Blue Christmas. Let's see. Jimmy says that Breedlove has way more volume than my Japanese F5 copy. Way better tone too. Oh, thanks.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't think this has a really vintage mandolin sound because I've gotten to play a lot of, fortunately or unfortunately, because there's always this joke that you can't unhear that. And so it's like, once you hear like a really good mandolin or a guitar, it's like it spoils you rotten because then it's like you want everything else to sound that good. So, but yeah, it has an even sound. And I got into mandolin because of John Jorgensen. and because I saw him on television. I didn't really get into bluegrass or anything like that, and it was hearing him cross pick, where he would do these, but he would do it really fast. He would do these really fast, kind of what you would think of as finger picking, but it's just the pick, and he would do that really fast, and he got that from a guy named Jesse Reynolds. Anyway, hi from Slovakia.
It's just a memory.
What's the was it once more? What was the one?
I was trying to remember the one.
What was the
sweeps like that?
What was the well? What was just? I can't remember what one sweeps like that. It's probably like it's
I don't know.
Time Between. Time Between is the one that kind of really killed me. So, anywho, yeah, it's about that snow speeder. Yeah, so up there, yeah. So yeah, there's the Lego snow speeder right next to my autographed picture of James Burton. So you can see up there, up high, you can see that's James, which, I've done a couple episodes. In fact, next week's episode is about James's '69 Paisley Telly, where I go through all the mods that he's done to the guitar through the years. But I've really been thinking about James a lot because he's been in the hospital, and so he's been in and out of Vanderbilt Hospital for the last couple of months. He's had cancer, and he broke a hip, and then they had an infection from the incision, and he's been having a hard time. So so thoughts, prayers, and just been thinking about James Burton. But yeah, I have this autographed picture up there next to the snowspeeder because I was a member of the James Burton fan club when I was in high school. So that's the only fan club I ever joined, was the James Burton one. And don't feel too bad about it. All right, mandolin time. Most Christmassy instrument I know, frankly. Memorable Christmas gig story. Well, going back to Austin's dad, Chip, we used to get invited to Christmas parties, and then we would find out that we had to bring our instruments. And so it was just one of these things where, the two of us, because I didn't live down in Kingsville, and I would be down from Nashville, and they would want us to show up, and they'd be kind of like, it's a paying gig, we're feeding you. And so because they had eggnog and cookies and stuff like that, they expect us to pull out
more like queso, but
guitars and mandolins, and this would be at other people's homes.
Oh, that's right. Y'all
Yes.
did do a few. Because you used to come over to our place, but then we'd go to y'all's place, like.
Right. So we had one thing about going to each other's homes, but then also we'd get invited to other parties, and then all of a sudden it'd be like, where are the instruments? Entertain us.
Yeah, sing.
Sing. We've got cookies for you. That's enough, right? That man can play a memorable Christmas tune. Of course, Chris Steele can. Picking along my Mando sounding Bruco octave guitar. Oh. Tell me more about this Bruco octave guitar. I will pull out the. This is not in tune, and but this is the Baxendale conversion instrument. It's probably gonna be. It's kind of. E. That's
If I overfret, I can probably.
Well, it would be kind if I just tuned the thing up properly.
Please be kind.
Yeah, I'm gonna tune this.
Okay.
Yeah, so that way, and we'll say, Zach, how's Elvis Santa Claus is back in town? Let her rip. I don't know Santa Claus is back in town. What other? We could just play some random tunes. Maybe we should be afraid to do that. That will definitely get us into trouble with the
police.
With the police. The police will come and get us. The copyright police. I didn't realize how sharp this thing had gotten.
Yeah, in the winter they do that.
this is just like those horrible performances where you see the person tuning and you're like, get a life.
Wait.
Okay, guys, tell us what your favorite Christmas album is. I'm going to tell you what mine is. My favorite Christmas album is the Peanuts Christmas album, the Vince Guaraldi.
Yeah,
That is my
classic.
absolute favorite.
Mine would have to be, every year since I can remember, Mom has played the Forrester Sisters
Oh my
Christmas
goodness.
album. Yeah, talk about 80s, right?
Yeah.
Forrester Sisters, like.
Forrester Sisters.
There's like little toy trains, little toy tracks, little toy drums coming from a sack, carried by a man dressed in white and red. Little boy, don't you think it's time you were in bed? Little boy, don't you think it's time you were in bed? Yeah. That song is like burned, seared in my Christmas memories. Going over Christmas in a week or so, and it's gonna be
You're going to be doing it.
the synthesizer.
We've got a hello from Sweden. Christmas time is coming. Peppy. Do you know Christmas time is coming?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's just Christmas time's coming.
Oh, is that it? Is
Christmas
that all it is? Okay, it's just all it is. Yeah, that's all it is.
All right. So yeah, this is the
Yeah,
the Mando
I'll
cello. Let's see.
play
Yeah.
something on it.
Let's see. Let's go. E.
Can't sing it. Very,
There's
very
a nice.
It's very rich.
Yes, it's very rich.
Is it tuned like a mandolin?
It is tuned like a mandolin, same type of intervals.
Do you mind?
No, please.
Okay, you can set this down, or I can set this down. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Oh, let's see what other Vince
Yeah.
Guaraldi. Let's see. Bells of Dublin or Charlie Brown Christmas, absolutely. Ella wishes you a swinging Christmas. Well, thank you, Ken. You fellas look like you're set up for sonic bluegrass, some bluegrass, a letter rip. St. Stephen's Day Murders with Elvis Costello and the Chieftains is the perfect grumpy Christmas song. Love it. Al Hawkins in Memphis says that K is very cool. And Philip Asby says, hey, I'm running late. Howdy, guys. Bruce Coburn Christmas is fantastic for a very alternative take and great playing. All right. Well, so again, next week I'm going to be doing an episode on James Burton's Paisley Telecaster. So of course I did an episode on the 52 telly, and of course a lot of you guys you said, okay, well, so what are you going to do one on the Paisley one, the 69 Paisley? And so it's a really fun guitar, and part of it is just how much he's changed on it. In fact, it's got a different neck on it and all sorts of things, and the pickup on it is a bit of a mystery, so it's kind of an odd beast, but that's going to be fun, and that'll be next week. Wayfarer says, love your channel, Zach, made me love the Telecaster again. You know, I get a lot of, these questions of like, why do you like the Telecaster? Why do you like the Telecaster so much? And it's not a silly question, but I always feel like, the business end of a guitar is the bridge pickup. And when you mount a pickup in, a metal bridge, there's something about it. There's something about and it just kind of cuts through the mix, because it's even a bridge pickup on some other guitars, like a Strat bridge pickup. It's cool, but it does not have the slice. And a really good Telecaster will have the slice, but it won't hurt you. And so it's like a good, really sharp knife. So yeah,
I was berated at one of the first gigs I ever played in downtown Nashville was at Legends, and I was absolutely berated for not having a Telecaster at that point. Yeah, I went in with a Les Paul. It was fine. I mean, it was did good enough for my first time, but. Guy said, "You new into town?" And I said, "Oh God, he's asking if I'm new into town, which means
he's about to give you."
He smells it on me. He's about to give me a big pro tip. He goes, "Gotta have a Telecaster, man." And I thought, "Yeah, I know." And you always had so many different tellies that just never occurred to me to.
Bold assumption that I want to be heard. Philip says, Aspie says, "What's the tuning on the Mandocello?" So it's tuned in fifths, and I start with a low E. So you have E, then you have B, then it's a F sharp, and then C sharp, right? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's in the same range as a guitar. So that low E is the same low E as a guitar in pitch. But the fact that it's doubled, and then you have this one, so that's unisons except for this second string, it's octaves, like a 12 string. And so that's something that Scott Baxendale does. He likes to set them up this way, and I think it's cool because it kind of opens up the voicing. Because I think when you have a bunch of octaves, it's so crazy. The thing you have to be careful with this is that it kind of gets in the same frequency range as the guitar. So sometimes it's better to take the place of a guitar rather than complement it. While the mandolin, of course, has its own sonic real estate, and it kind of stays out of the range of the guitar.
And I gotta say that the timbre of that instrument and the voicings of it, though, it really doesn't. I mean, even when I'm capo to play in the same kind of voicing as you.
Put your sweetness a little closer to the phone. Pretend that we're together all alone. Tell the man to turn the jukebox way down low. You can tell friend there with you, it'll have to go.
But timbre-wise, it's not. I mean, it's maybe it's because it's lower tension and it's more woody, cigar boxy, or the whole thing shakes. Like that whole thing is shaking when you play it.
That's what's really cool about these. That
this is tight, like an acoustic and 12s and stuff. It's just like
it's really really fun.
Yeah, it's a lot tighter. That's a lot looser. It feels good.
Every time you modify. Absolutely wait for anything James Burton. Make excerpts of how the sound changes every time you modify his telly. Well, I didn't use sound examples, but I do describe how the especially the Red Rhodes pickup changed the sound, and I tell about recordings that feature the Red Rhodes pickup where you can hear it's very mid-rangey. Philip says that's super cool. Been trying to learn mandolin for the past 6 months or so, and it's harder than you might think. Thanks, Zach, for the push. Yeah, I love mandolin, and this Waterloo's pretty fun guitar, and I have it wired up a la John Leventhal. Big, I have to say I'm a big fan of his playing, and so. It has a K&K mini pickup underneath here, and then also have a sound hole pickup. And I can run the sound hole pickup through an amp with some pedals, and you get that and that kind of more natural sound of the guitar. And it's really, really fun and great for filling out more space when you need to.
There you go. You play that one riff earlier, you know, it's like, ooh. Was that
Oh, the little, yeah,
something along those lines?
yeah. The Judds.
Love the Judds.
Yes. Let's see. Wondering how you feel about the 72 Telecaster Customs and their reissues. I've always wanted a humbucker in the neck and love the Les Paul configuration. Yeah, the big thing on those is that the old ones have a Kunif magnet pickup, which basically can't be reproduced until more recently. So the latest, so if you want that sound, you really need to get one of the new pickups that actually has real Kunif magnets. And so with that, the pull piece is the magnet. So on a Les Paul, you have a pull piece and then you have a bar magnet underneath it. But the old, Telecaster Custom, it had Kunif magnets, which the pull piece and the magnet were the same thing. And that just produces a brighter sound. So all these guys that have been making those pickups have just been trying to do as best they could because you couldn't get Kunif. But the guys at Fender, they decided to spend the money on it, and they were able to get a supply of that. And so that's one of the things about if you're wanting that specific sound. Of course, a Tele with a humbucker neck pickup's really cool in itself. But those old ones do have a specific sound because of the magnets in them. Let's see. Have a very Merry Christmas and a happy and healthy New Year to you too. So, yeah. I just this is happy to be able to have Christmas. I've had a bad attitude about Christmas in the past, and I've kind of turned over a new leaf and having a better attitude and not being a Grinch anymore. Part of what helped is I have a Grinch blow up in my front yard, so that helps me.
that's the
Yes.
you put all of the bad in
Yes.
that.
So I put
Yeah.
all of my Grinchy
Yeah.
feelings I put in the Grinch blow up that's in front of my house. So I make sure that every morning at like 6 a.m. I turn him on, and so he comes up, and I don't have him running during the middle of the night, but I always believe in you got to have a receptacle for your bad feelings. So
You just put it all in the.
that and if that therapy helps you, you can send $120 to
And like they say, write it down, write the bad thing down,
yes,
and then burn it.
and then write the bad thing down and burn it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's always been. I'm gonna pull this. I'm not gonna plug it in, but
Oh dear.
so
Oh man. I walked in and I saw that, and I went straight for it. It's such a beautiful guitar.
so this is my 2008 R9.
Man.
And so I handpicked this from the custom shop, okay? And so I pulled every string under the sun so that I could, because I'm not a dealer or anything like that. And so, but anyway, Mike, what's his last name? Oh golly, he's retired. Mike Volz. So Mike Volz, who worked for Gibson for many, many years, and he just retired, in the last year or so. He made this happen. So this is a really, really nice flame top Les Paul, and it's a nice weight. It's kind of in the mid 8-pound. But and I even had Jeff Sin reshape the neck to where it was more like a late 59, early 60 neck, and it's a really fun guitar. And it's like, I don't really play this. It's a great instrument. I can't get rid of it, but it's just I don't really connect with it a whole lot, but yet it's a great instrument. It plays
I'm
great.
connecting right.
Yeah.
I'm connecting. You just want to. I mean, a vintage cello is great and all, but
Yeah. So
this thing was an F, by the way. It got cold.
yeah, this is a 67.
I put it back to E for you.
Yeah. And since we're just kind of
Oh yeah.
having fun, pulling
Oh,
different
yeah.
things out. This is of course the Paisley. This is
Look at that bender, just
Yeah.
perfect.
it's
Gosh.
got that. This is the one that's in the video for the Bender install, and so this is also a fun one that I've actually used in a couple videos lately. It's a fun guitar.
Who did the bridge pickup in that?
The bridge pickup, this is a Peter Florence pickup. So Peter Florence passed away a couple of years ago. So this is a TE60 bridge pickup.
Yeah, you
And
can
it's-
see the wax.
And this is a Adder neck pickup. That was the big, when I was working for Brad Paisley and was it Lace? I can't remember who was doing this. But anyway, they made these Adder neck pickups that are kind of like lace sensors, but they don't look like them. And anyway, it's all like epoxied together and everything. It's not vintage sounding at all. It sounds like a Strat neck pickup, but it's really cool, and it's pretty hum free. So this is a fun one. Here, it just turned into me pulling my guitars out, but
Yeah, it's toys. What toys? Pull out the toys.
yeah, and we have to give time for the classic, my number one guitar, the Esquire. So. All right, let's answer some questions. Tip on the cook. I had an R8 from that year. Great guitar. Yes. Hello, just discovered your channel. Been geeking out for a week. Now I have a couple Fender Fujigen era tellies that are way better than any American tellies I've ever played. Your thoughts? Yeah, there are tons of made in Japan guitars that are great, and the real golden era for Japanese guitars, I think. They're good from all the different eras, but there's something really special about the ones made between about 79 and 83, 84. And it's like, there's something, I don't know if it was the wood and the pickups, but anyway, but they're all good. There's all sorts of good eras. I've played some new Tokais, while I was in Great Britain a couple of years ago, and they were fantastic, and they played a lot better than a lot of, instruments made in our own country. So, JD Simon says eating pants. So, I'll
Eating pants. What is
so I feel like I have to tell. So one time I was visiting old JD at his parents' home in Phoenix, Arizona, in Scottsdale, and I didn't really bring the right clothes with me. I think I can't remember if I was dressed too warm or I can't remember what it was. But anyway, at one point we were outside, and I think it was really hot, and his dad let me borrow his shorts that were like elastic waist, like eating pants. And so that's what they even call them,
eating pants?
And I get it, because it's like, you got to put on your elastic waist, really easy on you, when you're really gonna throw down, because we were eating. So,
The vision of the dad like uncinching his belt after a meal.
and another fun story that I'll tell about JD was that there's a picture of his dad holding this fish, and you have to remember, his dad's from Chicago, and his dad is holding this fish, and he has this look like, I killed this fish and I'll kill you, and it was pretty funny. So okay, now I've talked enough about JD. Does a B-bender increase the weight much? No, not at all. The Jug Laser bender doesn't add any weight. A Parsons White will add weight to a guitar. Let's see. Zach with a Gibson.
That's what I said. That's what I said. That's what I always say. If he's got, even when I gave him a
TCM is asking JD if JD has any dates in Boston. We'll go to JD Simo, go to his website, and I'm sure it'll tell. Guitar picker on a Nashville telly. Will a humbucker neck and single coil middle sound as stratty as single coil neck and single coil middle? hold on. Well, humbucker neck. There's always something lost with hum canceling pickups. There's a little bit of air kind of thing that's lost. I don't know, and really it's something you hear more when the guitar is by itself. But I think you can get plenty of good, Stratty sounds out of hum canceling pickups. There's good ones, being made by DiMarzio, like the Area series is really cool, or the Mojo Tone makes quiet coils, which I've heard some of those that were really good. So, yeah. Let's see. Some good replacements out there. What sort of guitar gear are you getting yourself for Christmas or for others? Also, what would you recommend buying for someone? Well, the one rule I have is that no one buys me any gear, in my family, because it's like, you can't buy me an amp or a guitar or anything like that. That's such a personal thing. I have given, at times I will give pieces of gear, to someone if I know that's something that they want and they don't have. I've done that. I've given pedals at times to people, but I don't think I've given anything. I think I have given a guitar or two to friends, but yeah. And what do I recommend buying, for someone? I don't know.
You did a $200 amp video recently. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
My first Ultimate Chorus was a, I don't know, about, I guess used $380, $390, somewhere in there, which is still higher than that, but.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny how many comments and views I got on the PV video, because, it really was me, having to confess how much I had a low view of PV, but it's like, it kind of works out in your favor when you're, looking for an amp and just something that's reliable and it sounds good. And, it's like, does it sound as good as an old, vintage Vox or a vintage Deluxe Reverb that's healthy? That's healthy. That's the qualifier.
And you've had a lot of Voxes that weren't quite.
I've had a ton.
So healthy.
Yeah, I had a ton of Voxes that were bad news, and most of them were newer ones. They weren't JMI, British made, Voxes. Well, they were British made, but they were made by the Marshall factory. I had some really bad experiences with the Korg made Vox amps, and so that's not to say you haven't had a good experience, but I had bad experiences with them to where I had them break down in the middle of gigs. I had one amp that broke down, 6 times in 1 year, and it got to where I just got rid of it. So it was one of the Korg, UK made AC30s, and it had the blues in it and everything, and I traded it for like a used Fender Bassman 410 amp that had to pay like $500 extra to get it. I mean, it was just very lopsided deal with Guitar Center, but I was just wanting to get rid of it.
A piece of gear that works is definitely better than a piece of gear that doesn't work. Push comes to shove.
And that's when it comes down to it. There's nothing worse than a piece of gear that's not reliable.
You go to turn it on and you're thinking, oh, is that sound going to come back or is it going to fail? And like you brought up in that PV video, like we were downtown and lots of guys still use those PV amps that are play big stages and stuff and have tons of gear, I'm sure, but those PVs are reliable.
They are,
and they do sound very, very good.
Yeah, it's a $200 amp that's close to 40 years old, and it's never had any repairs done to it.
I would wonder what a good comparison for guitars would be. Like, what's a great like super reliable guitar of equal.
Yeah.
You can't get equal on amps and guitars because there's so much difference in the manufacturing, but. Say 500 and under on an electric guitar or something. I mean, that opens up the field pretty wide, I think.
Yeah, it does. I think that's probably a good. If you made it a little higher, I would say a used GNL ASAT. I mean, that's just especially one made in the '90s. That was really a kind of a golden era for them. A lot of times those can be had for $1,000 or less, and it's an American-made guitar that's super reliable. I prefer the ones with the big MFD, not India, MFD pickups. I think those are really cool. Okay, we've had a number of comments that have flown by. Yeah, let's see. I give all my friends a pick for Christmas. Oh God. Let's see. Also have an original 64 Gibson Firebird Reverse 1. Wow. That's a very cool guitar. Is there a reputable charity that you can recommend to help deserving kids pursue their music dreams and aspirations? Well, James Burton has the James Burton Foundation in Shreveport, and that's one that gives acoustic guitars to young people that can't afford them. I'd have to find some other charities, but I know for sure the James Burton Foundation, and I think that'd be a cool thing to give to right now with James in the hospital and such. Any recommendations on modern amps that sound like a deluxe and twin reverb? Going for the Bobby Womack sound, but I don't have the money for something vintage. Yeah, I mean, I love the Tone Master. The Tone Master is great. I mean, it's under $1,000. You get the blonde one, get the blonde Tone Master Deluxe Reverb. It's great out of the box, and it just works. And then it's like you can turn the internal speaker off and run it, into other things. It's got an XLR out. It's just a good little amp. I think on the negative side, I think it's a touch overpriced, for what it is, but it doesn't have any, it doesn't have any maintenance costs, and it's really light. It's easy to carry around, and it sounds great. So, I mean, actually, I was being a little harsh on it, but I think it's a great amp, especially if you can find a used one. Yeah, definitely I would get that. How do you get that twangy treble Telecaster sound of Don Rich? The pickup or the strings? Wow. A lot of it on a Tele is using the tone control, is on the guitar. It's kind of just getting a bright sound and then just kind of peeling it back just enough, and then I don't like to use heavy strings, use 10s at the heaviest. And then you might want to try some pure nickel strings if you're wanting kind of a little bit thuddier, not really thuddier, but more fundamental sound on your low strings. All right.
For a little extra pluck, I like to hold the pick kind of soft.
Yeah.
And play really back on the bridge, even on the neck pickup.
I love this. TCM says, "You'll never convince me to buy a Vox Matchless for me. Thank you. Pricey, but oh yeah, Matchless for him. Yeah. That was the thing. I wish that I had gotten a Matchless instead of a 90s, Korg. It was more expensive. Also, there was a couple other brands going at that time, like Top Hat. Top Hat was making some good amps, and they had some good amps in the 90s.
They're still around.
All right. The worst part about most of the Vox reissues is they don't sound anything like the originals. Well, that's true at times too. So, also one of the things that I learned from working with Brad Paisley, and he had a bunch of vintage AC30s, was how different they can sound. Because they had different transformer manufacturers that they used. Because always a smart manufacturer has multiple suppliers. Think about Fender. Did they use just Jensen speakers? No, they used Jensen and Oxford and Utah, and because that's just a smart manufacturer. So Vox had multiple transformer. They had Albion and they had Woden and others. And so you get those. And then also there were multiple different versions of the AC30. And then you have it, whether the top boost was from the factory or whether it was added onto one of those first variations. And of course, it's just going to sound different whether it was like the treble or bass version and such. So yeah, they can. Super reliable guitars. Bart Chapman says GNL and the pre-Ernie Ball Music Man Sabre. Oh, cool. I also like Music Man guitars. I really liked the Axis with the Axis Sport, which is kind of the Eddie Van Halen body shape, but with just the two. I like it with the two P90s. That's a really cool guitar. There's the Songbird Foundation in Chattanooga. They have a YouTube channel. Yeah, John is correct on that. JD Simo says James Burton or Reggie Young. You can only pick one. Okay, if I can only pick one, I'm going with Reggie Young. JD made me do it in public, but I will do that for JD because man, because they're both great, but when you also get, Reggie was just like, man, yeah. So all right, I'm not going to get myself into trouble here, but yeah, he is J.D. West trying to start an incident, but yeah, Reggie, is just that he could play all these funky things, but then he could play all these really soulful things, and Burton can too, but yeah, there's a slight edge with Reggie. All right, let's see. He really started an incident here. How much did Brad Paisley use his rocket? I love that circuit brutally loud though. That is from after my era. I mean, I still interact with Brad some, but I don't work for him. I haven't worked for him in almost 20 years. So when I was working for him, he did not have a rocket. I mean, that was something that he purchased after my time working for him, and he used in the studio. Now, I was in his studio in the last couple months, and I saw it, and it was plugged in. In fact, he had two. Who's the guy that made the rocket?
Fisher.
He had two Ken Fisher amps, and I don't know which models. I didn't really look at them, but there was like some vintage Vox heads, and there was two Ken Fisher made heads that were all plugged in. He had this splitter box that so he could just immediately run, and he had all these different speaker cabinets in another room, and he could just switch different microphones on, and so he could
So cool.
So he could go between all these different heads and stuff like that. So it's a neat setup. So yeah. So here we're going on almost an hour at this point. 2 minutes shy of an hour.
Yeah, so midnight. We've got a ways to go.
We're
gonna
going
put on
to
some VHS tapes. We're gonna watch old VHS.
That's right.
Of our favorite concerts.
And we're gonna have reaction videos.
No, I'm not kidding. That's got to happen. Mystery Science Theater 3000 style. I put on a ring of VHS, and you pause it and comment and react in real time. I would watch that all day.
We're gonna have,
that's the best part about watching the stuff with you.
Yeah.
Is you're like, hang on, pause, and then you like.
Here's
That's
Johnny.
hard, yeah.
Sounded like it. Okay, so is he playing? Were you playing Driftaway earlier while I was around? Yeah. I love. I don't know why I'm grabbing, but yeah. To me, that's if you want a textbook of like great R&B guitar playing, which I guess we should we get at the acoustics? Yeah, in the key of B.
I did this one at the supper club the other night, and people just jump in and sing along. It's so fun.
Let's see. I guess I wasn't really playing any of those fills, but it's like he has this,
Yeah, play the fills. Play the fills from the top of the verse if you want to.
hopefully we're yeah. So you're gonna do.
More control.
hold on. If you're going on till midnight, I might have to go. Of course, yeah, we're gonna sign off. Just hold.
Those low riffs were always neat.
I want Zach Child's live commentary for all 9 Star Wars films and Rogue One. I would do that for you, JD. I still don't understand why they thought I'd have a favorite poem at 9 years old, though. Zach, who do I need to talk to about getting a 3? Carl, I've been trying to check with Teespring, the company that does my merch, and so I've been trying to get to figure out which. But I'm still on that, and have not forgotten about you. And thank you for your persistence. Favorite Star Wars film excluding the first. See, JD is taking us in a great direction. Empire Strikes Back.
It's all the gauntlet questions.
It's all about the. See,
it's like barbecue sauce or no sauce.
Well,
see.
I like sauce.
I do too.
But it needs to have some meat juice in it. It can't be this ketchup stuff.
That's the next episode. Meat juice.
Meat juice. Mm-hmm. Meat juice is the next episode.
Star Wars and meat juice.
But my favorite, Star Wars is Empire Strikes Back. I saw it on opening day in 1980. I stood in line with my best friend at the time. His name was Keith Crenshaw, and we stood in line and waited, and we watched the movie. And we were blown away. And then, of course, at the end of the film, you had no idea if Darth Vader was lying or not when he said that he was, Luke's father. So, and then we had to wait 3 years for the next movie to come out. But, Empire Strikes Back is the perfect second act of a play. I think they kind of partially ruined things with Return of the Jedi because they changed the plot of it, because they made it to where they didn't kill off Han Solo, and they brought in the Ewoks, the teddy bears and stuff like that. But to me, Empire Strikes Back, the best Star Wars film. Let's see. If you had to pick, this is for JD. Bobby Womack or Cornell Dupree. That would be a hard one. Happy Holidays. What makes basic pickups sound different? Oh, Bruce, I think pickups are so simple because you have magnets and wire. And, of course you have the flat work and such. But those ingredients, because there's so few ingredients, it just makes a huge difference, like how many windings you put on, what type of wire it is, the size of the wire, the coating on the wire, the makeup of the Alnico magnets, how much of each of the different components in there, and the nickel and the cobalt, whatever else. And so there can be a huge variance. It's like if you just say, well, I'm going to make an Alnico 5 pickup with 42 gauge wire on it, and you have a bunch of guys, and even if you have them make it to the same number of windings, just if you do different winding patterns, scatter winding, etc., you end up with different sounding pickups. So, yeah.
Also the magnet.
Yes. All right. What's your opinion on basswood bodies on fenders? James Burton Telly, the Flame Paisley, also the Japanese reissues. The basswood is a great tone wood. I don't have any problem with that. It's very similar to to alder. It's not as hyped. Ash is kind of a hyped, and what I mean by hyped is it really accentuates the highs and the lows. And it doesn't have a whole lot of mid-range, while alder seems to be a little bit more flat, and so is basswood. And I don't have a problem with that. The James Burton Telly, the current one, I'm not a big fan of it because I like the ash, the 3 saddle bridge and everything on it, on the old one. So with James Burton, I would go for one of the older Mexican-made reissue. The James Burton signature model Mexican-made version, because those can still be found in the $600, $500, $600 range. Those are killer guitars. All right, JD Simo, he came in with Cornell. Yeah, it's hard to beat Cornell Dupree. So he made such a big impact, and part of it was because he wasn't an artist like Bobby Womack was. So, but. Big impact. Let's see. Aliens from Outer Space and ask for a song to understand what a Strat, a Telly, and a Les Paul sound like. You have one song each to satisfy them, or they zap you with a ray gun. Oh my goodness. Okay, Strat. This is just from the hip. Strat, I'm going to say Sultan's a Swing. But I mean, I could have said some Clapton tune, but I'm going to say Sultan's a Swing for the Strat. For the Telly, I'm going to say Working Man Blues with James Burton on Merle Haggard's tune. And for a Les Paul, I would say Jeff Beck Truth, that whole album, but like Ain't Superstitious or something like that. I mean, that's pretty, convincing on what
I feel like Stevie runs the gamut on the Strat on Leave My Little Girl Alone. I think he uses almost, I can't,
all
JD
positions?
might know, but I think he...
Yeah, this may be Ask JD, on does Steve Ray Vaughan go through all 5 positions on Leave My Little Girl Alone? Yeah.
That whole thing. And then,
Yeah, Peter Green is a great one for the Les Paul. Especially like the, what is it, Hard Road, the first, the John Mayall record that he plays on. That's really, really great. Muscle Shoals rhythm section versus stuff. Oh golly. Okay, I'm gonna go with stuff because I really love I really love Cornell Dupree. And the lead guitar position was always kind of rotating around in the Muscle Shoals guys. So then you'd have to almost qualify, was it Eddie Hinton, or was it Dwayne Allman, or was it Pete Carr, or who was it? Heavy song I've heard in my life, and Dope Smoker is my favorite album. All right, guys. Well, we've been going for over an hour. We probably need to, head on. I think Austin has a gig he has to go play, and and I've got kids coming home from school, because I've got a 12-year-old and a 13-year-old and such. So, thank you so much for hanging out with us this afternoon. I hope you are well and blessed. And again, next week we'll do an episode on James Burton's Paisley guitar. But I need to give Austin a shout out. Austin has a channel on YouTube, and he has a bunch of episodes out, and they're really, really good. He's done episodes on everything from brown face Fenders to different pedals. He's done episodes on Klons. Austin is one of the few guys I've known who's owned a Klon for 20 plus years, and
I just sold it. I told you that though.
Yeah, and he sold it
after 20 years. Yeah.
He sold his Klon, and he bought a brown Vibrolux, which I think was a fantastic sale and purchase. So yes. So Merry Christmas to you guys. Thank you so much. Who knows? Depending on how things go, there may be another live stream, later this month. It just depends on how I'm able to film stuff, because it's kind of a funky month with trying to do all the holiday stuff and all that jazz. So, all right, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Yes,
Appreciate it.
thank you.
Always.
Please go check out Austin.
Thanks.
Austin Skinner. Check him on the YouTube. Thank you, guys. Bye.